Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Loretta McNary Live, or as some people still call it, Loretta McNary Show. I love that. That's part of my theme song. So today, I like to jump right in. I don't like to lose a lot of time reading her bio, but this is so beautiful. I'm going to read more than I normally do for Yahnnica Tate. She's an ambitious and driven professional. She has an extensive experience and proven success with managing publicity, marketing, and social media campaigns. Listen to this, in both agency and in-house settings. That's what you all need to stick and stay at. She has all this experience. She is an alumni of Hampton University. She has a BA in strategic communications and a minor in psychology. I love that. And she secured a position at 135 Agency. It's a boutique PR and marketing firm. Her first assignment with the agency was working with A24 Productions to amplify the visibility of the film Moonlight to HBCU campuses. Yes, there is a huge market. There's a lot of people wanting to get that demographic. So in 2017, let me tell you what happened with her help. She's modest. She's not going to take any credit, but I'm going to give it to her. The film received global recognition, multiple Golden Globes, and Academy Awards, including Best Pictures. You know Moonlight. You heard of Moonlight. Shortly after, we already got people sending love to you. Shortly after, Tate had a position with TV1. You know TV1. We've had some people on here. Remember Coins for Love and Coins for Christmas with Susan Banks. And Clio TV, leading publicity campaigns for the network's original series, films, and acquisitions. The girl is bad, right? And she is so modest. Oh my goodness. She worked as a brand partnership and PR manager at HBCU Buzz, which HBCU Buzz are the people who allowed me to have that screening of Bel Air a couple of weeks ago. It just aired Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm so in love with Bel Air, Yahnnica. I want to interview them. I so want to interview them, so I'll put it out there. So let me tell you some of the people she's worked with, some of her clients: NFL, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Prime, Nike, Procter & Gamble, Goldman Sachs, and many more. And let me tell you some of her memberships: National Association of Multi-Ethnicity and Communications. I'm a member of that. Women in Entertainment, Washington, D.C. chapter. The girl is bad. Okay, everybody, welcome Yahnnica Tate. Hi, Yahnnica.
Thank you. Hi, how's it going?
Oh, I love that. Life is grand because I choose to concentrate on all this good and work on those things that I'm not so happy with. So I'll always say life is grand. How's everything with you? I know you're busy.
Yeah, everything's going well. I'm starting off the year really strong, and I'm really, optimistic about, what this year's gonna bring. Hopefully we can open back up and be safe again, but, just learning how to pivot and be strategic with how I'm moving.
Absolutely. So let me tell people what you're currently doing, as if all that other stuff wasn't grandiose enough. She currently holds the position of communications manager for Paramount Plus, the streaming service for ViacomCBS. And I'm so in love with Paramount Plus. I have a subscription. It's my go-to for TV when I'm not watching my own network, Yahnnica. I have my own global streaming platform as well. And I'm super excited about that. So when you said you work with Apple TV and Amazon Prime, you can find us there too. So I want to talk about you. So how does one raise a Yahnnica Tate? How were you as a little young girl?
Oh, I feel like I was one of those kids that was just always like in class, and they always told me, like, on my report card, Yahnnica's a bright student. She just probably could be a little more quiet. I've always just been very outgoing and very friendly with people. And so I kind of fueled that passion into my career. I was always a huge advocate for writing. I love to write. And as it came down to the point where it was like starting to look for schools, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do PR. I've heard about it. You see always the PR executive in the movies, and I'm just like, that's what I want to do. And so I'm really a fearless person. Like anything I set my mind to, I'm always like, I'm gonna do it. And for the most part, I get it done just because, um, that's where I've seen myself. Once I've envisioned it, I just do it. Um, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, so it's not too many people from Seattle, Washington that really leave the state or leave the city and like continue to like be gone. So I do it for people back home too.
So, did you personally meet someone who is a publicity person or a PR guru? What was it that fascinated you? I can see it now, of course, because I know your trajectory, where you come from and where you're going. So, what was it?
I don't think it was a specific person that was a publicist that introduced me to PR, but I know in 7th grade I had a creative writing teacher, and her name was Miss Naganawa, and she actually introduced me to the world of communications. I didn't I grew up in a school where I was predominantly, the other side, and I was basically the only Black girl in class. And there was this one teacher that really took a liking to me and saw a special skill in me, and that was very rare for me. For teachers to actually feel invested into a craft that I had and a special talent. So she was like, I really think that communications is a field that you should consider going into. And it's like, as soon as she told me that in 7th grade, all you saw me in like high school doing was looking up the best communication schools. Then it went to the best communication schools at HBCUs. And so, I think having that type of influence definitely impacted my career choice.
I know it's so amazing that straight out of school, you
Yeah.
land this job with a top agency and you have responsibilities like somebody who's been doing this for a long time. How
Yeah.
did you prepare for such a great move, your first career and your first job out of college?
Oh, I mean, I just took a lot of risks, and it kind of gets scary when you graduate from school because you never know where you're going to land. Like a lot of people make different career moves. Like it's not some people might go down a completely different career path. For me, I was like, I know I want to do public relations, and I know specifically I want to do entertainment. I don't know how I'm about to get into that. So it just kind of I took that leap and was fearless and reached out to the right people who saw my experience and gave me a shot. And, that's kind of where my 135th Street Agency family came in and was like, we'll give you a try. We'll let you work with us and see how you do. And, ever since then, they've always been family, and always, if they ever need anything, they can always reach out, and they do. So, I've always been a resource for them, and they've always been a resource for me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I just love it. I know there's a whole lot more to it. So when you knew that you were going to be working with Moonlight to help get the HBCU campuses to watch and buy into this, do you remember how you felt when you were first assigned this incredible task?
Because it was my first like actual film campaign that I worked on. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know too much about Moonlight, but that was kind of the point of the campaign. It's like they wanted people to know Moonlight. There was so many up and coming actors from that film that just blossomed in their industry. And they kind of tasked me with the assignment of bringing Moonlight to HBCU campuses, which was already like such a close tie since I just graduated from an HBCU. So it was pretty, it definitely had a very personal feel to it for me to do that outreach for the campaign. But I would have never known that it would have gotten I knew it was a good movie. Like I knew it was a great film. Yeah. But I never would have thought it would have got the recognition it did. And I'm just happy people saw that vision that, the creators of the film saw.
Okay, so I want to kind of take a jump because I know you were with TV1 and with Clio TV, which I'm just astounded by their growth. How all of a sudden here we are, right? TV1, Clio TV with all the new shows, cooking, all kinds of things. And now you're with Paramount. Let's, before we go to Paramount Plus, which I'm so in love with, Can we talk about your time at TV1 and maybe some of the most exciting things or some things that challenged you? How was that experience?
Yeah, TV1 and Cleo was definitely, I mean, for one, being on the PR team to help launch Cleo TV, that was an experience in itself. Like, to say that you helped launch a network off the ground and then just saw it just build and grow. It's just very fascinating, and it was very impactful for my life. I learned a lot fast. I think TV1, that's one thing that they did really well, was just kind of throwing me in the fire to see if I can juggle it. And I definitely like that type of work. I like working like that. I really kind of like being under pressure and like moving quick but efficiently. And that's what I think they let me take the reins on the most. It's kind of just like, you your work ethic speaks for itself, and I definitely think that they allowed me to do that. So I definitely had a great experience at TV1 and Cleo TV. All the campaigns were fun, and really going to TV1 was a no-brainer because Kathy Hughes, Miss Kathy Hughes, who's like the media maven.
Yes.
She was somebody who I always looked up to, and she knows that. I tell her all the time, like, Kathy Hughes was somebody who I used to write about in my, like, I used to do radio. I used to be a radio host when I was like in ninth and 10th grade. And I remember one assignment in ninth grade was to write about something about radio history. And I was like, I'm going to write about Kathy Hughes. I'm in this class. I'm the only Black girl. I'm going to let them know who Miss Kathy Hughes is. And like, who would have known, like, years down the line, I would be working at her company. It was just kind of like a dream come true. And then seeing all these women of color in executive positions, it honestly felt like I was in like a wonderland, and it just has inspired me so much.
The funny part is about that, and I haven't even shared this with friends. Let me take this quick little break before I tell you about there. It's about Miss Kathy Hughes. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Here we go. Yeah, so Miss Kathy Hughes is one of my, she doesn't know this. I've never met her, but ever since she was in radio, when she first started, I know her whole story started in radio, her and her
Yeah.
son, having a tough time. And I have all boys too, and now they're working in my company too. And so if I could meet somebody, one person that's on my list, Miss Kathy Hughes is definitely one of the people I want to not only meet, but interview and share her story, because there's so much synergy and similarities. And I would just want to tell her, when I want to quit, I would think of her story, how she had to go through so much stuff, more than I've had to go through. But yes, she persevered. She never quit. And look where she is now. Not only radio all over the place, but she is doing TV1 and Cleo TV. So the next time you talk to her, tell her that I'm a fan and thank her so much for not quitting, because her story inspires me.
Yes, I will. I feel like everybody in some type of way have been touched by Miss H. We call her Miss H. I don't want to get away in this interview calling her Kathy Hughes, because I'll get my hand slapped. But Miss H is definitely an inspiration to a lot of people, and like her drive is something she has a vision that a lot of people didn't have back then. Like, it's been over 40 years, and like Urban One is still like moving as like a smooth operated train, with her still leading. So it's really great.
Absolutely. We have some really amazing comments. I will start sharing them. But Nick Nova is a spoken word artist, and he has some of his work is on MMN. So he is definitely a fan already.
Oh,
And then we have Amelia Cole, Dr. Amelia Cole. She said, "You're amazing. You're changing the narrative and opening the doors for so many others. God bless you."
Thank you.
And let me see if I can share some more before we continue with our conversation. Oh yeah, King Preferred. She loved to send King Preferred cakes for the viewing. Oh, okay. Nice. I have to get some to Yahnnica. Yahnnica, do you cook?
I do. I was trying to make something before I got up over here. I was like, let me have a little something to snack on before I get in here.
I know, right? You don't want your blood sugar to drop at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an awesome interview. I love your story, how the teacher took an interest in you. Yes.
Yeah, that's important.
Nick, no, but you two are amazing. Pioneer. Yeah, Kathy Hughes is a pioneer, and hopefully Yahnnica and I are pioneers in our own right. People will say that our story inspires somebody too, because I'm already inspired by your story. So okay, so we talked about Clio TV, Miss H, and TV One. Oh, hey, you all, it's Black History Month. Not only should you know who Kathy Hughes is, but while you're doing your research, which people usually are more hungry and thirsty for Black history, in February, please research Kathy Hughes. You will be amazed at her story. Oh my goodness. So you said cooking. So I know Clio TV has several cooking shows.
Oh yeah.
One of the guys on there, I remember doing his pilot years ago. He's super famous now. Oh my goodness.
Chef Jannard.
Yes, Jannard.
Yes, we love Jannard.
When he was first getting started. And let me tell you, his wife is always, she was there then, she's there now. His mom, his sister, they're all very supportive. And he has grown. Let me tell you, he was already a force. This had to be 12 years ago, maybe 10. And he's even more of a force now. I'm super proud of his success. So you say you cook. Have you ever thought about your own show, whether it was cooking or... I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know if I'll get to that point, but I'm not I'm not afraid to try a little TikTok cooking series or something. Maybe start a little small. I'm not on Chef Jannard or Chef JJ's level yet, but I definitely wouldn't mind sharing a few tips on how I do things in the kitchen, but you know, I'll give it a try.
Okay, let me ask you this question. I got another question. So for someone who's just starting out with a communications degree, what would you recommend to them to get in the business? They've never been in the business before, but they also have a cinematography degree. Communications
Well, I think just making your presence known, whatever you want to do, you have to just reach out to people, like network. LinkedIn is such a great resource to have, but also like one thing I did, and people are probably going to look at me like, huh, girl, but I volunteered a lot. I did a lot of things for free and just asked people like, hey, can I help here? Or I saw opportunities. Like I remember I was in college and I saw a nonprofit that, didn't probably have the funds to have a publicist, but I saw an opportunity to give them some recognition and visibility because they were doing great things in the community. They just needed that, strategy. And I was like, I need a credit. I need a college credit. So, you just reach out to people and see, you look for things, like things aren't going to fall in your lap. They never do. Like getting into entertainment is not something you just like hope meeting somebody will, give it to you. You got to actually put yourself out there, and people appreciate that you want to help.
Absolutely. I tell people that all the time, especially in this industry, you have to volunteer first. Very few people people look at where they are now and assuming they always got paid to do what they're doing. But if you really want to expedite that career move into where you want to be, start volunteering on sets. Go to films. You may hear about a film and you not want to be an actor or actress. Even if you do, go volunteer first. So this leads to my next question. What would you say for a talent who wants to get booked on other shows on a national level? What should they do to get booked on a national level? Should they hire a publicist or try to do it on their own? And if so, what should they do?
I would never recommend anybody hiring a publicist until you know what your story is and until you feel like you developed a few credits under your belt, definitely look in hiring a manager or agent first, because what they have a specialty in is developing the story for you and putting you out there. But of course, like that sometimes costs money. So there are certain things that you can get involved in, like there's the Pan African Film Festival in LA, there's ABFF in Miami. Like, get involved in those things. They have table readings and stuff at some of these festivals. I'm just naming a few options, but those things are free to get into, and even volunteering. But a quick Google search does not hurt. And sometimes those casting calls is not just enough. Like, you want people to see you, like, oh, I remember her from PAF from last year, or and she's back this year, or even like, I don't know, TCA. TCA has a whole bunch of networks there, but they're always looking for people to help the organization, to volunteer, check people in. Like, you gotta make sure people can see your face. Like, people gotta recognize your face.
Yeah. And one thing I don't want people to feel like that makes them less than, because they have this big idea or dream. And now you say check in people to a film festival. But you know what? The talent that you want to meet you can check them in. The directors have to check in. The producers are checking in. People with funding have to check into these film festivals. So don't, what they say, there are no small jobs or small parts, there are only small-minded people. So please, that's great advice, to go and work, because that's the way you can meet more people at once, instead of going to one little networking and hopefully meeting somebody. But at a film festival, at an audition, or just volunteering to work at a TV station or a network or a radio station, I've heard countless people who are super successful now, that's how they started. When I first launched my speaking company, I had one free workshop, and I still, to this day, and that was maybe 15 years ago, I still get residual referrals from that very first one I did for free. Wow. So it's nothing wrong with free, because it's never free, because you're getting paid some way. It'll pay off.
Sometimes things are not automatic. Like, you're not automatically going to get paid for it. Like, what you see on social, like all the glitz and the glamour, there's a lot of like getting your feet dirty a little bit. And the beauty of right now is literally almost everything is virtual. So you can stretch yourself. You can be in literally Nebraska at this point and want to be an actor. There is really no excuse. You can find something to do virtually at this point. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. So do you recommend people just depending totally on their social media, like their TikTok or their Instagram feed, to get seen, and hopefully, praying one day, Miss Hughes or Oprah or Tyler Perry will see them, or Viacom? Do you think that's great advice? Or, I don't want them to put all their eggs in one basket. I think it's very valuable and it helps, but I think they should be doing something else as well. But what's your opinion on that?
Well, I call myself a millennial publicist, so I'm really big, because I'm really big on social media. Like, I might not have the hugest following, but like, I'm always on social, and I'm always finding people through social. Like, whether you think it or not, like, hashtags actually work. Like, I've been able to find people, like influencers or just even micro influencers. Just like, you don't have to be a macro influencer. Micro can be 5K or less. Like, I've been able to find people just through their hashtags, because some people like have a good message and they're just not getting the notoriety for it. So you can always use your social platform. I think that's definitely a great way to optimize your visibility.
Oh, this is a great question, because I'm really torn with the whole Clubhouse thing. I have my personal opinion I won't share right now, but she wants to know, what recommendations would you give to the thousands of entrepreneurs looking for a PR on Clubhouse?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was on Clubhouse a lot too. So it was really interesting to jump in some of those rooms and Actually talk to some of my PR friends too, because I think like sometimes PR can get misconstrued and as far as like what people are looking for, like what their goal is. Because with PR, I think what people need to understand is that it takes time to build your recognition, and like getting on the good, like on the morning shows, and you know, people want to be on Wendy Williams like the next night. It takes a while to kind of build your name, and that's an investment. So when you have a publicist that believes in you, just be honest with the fact that results come with time, and not with payments. If that makes sense. Like you might have to put out a check or something, but I mean, they are working for you, and they are using the best of their contacts to try to get your story out there. But sometimes it all depends on the timing too, when and the angles that your publicist is pitching. But also with the angles that we're pitching, it depends on what your story is again. So like for example, I remember we did a campaign for Just Eats with Chef JJ at Clio TV, and we were trying to get him some press. And I remember one day Forbes was like, "Oh, we'd love to do a story on Chef JJ," and we're like, "Really? Okay, great. What do you want to do it on?" And they were just like, "Well, he specializes in rice, right? Like he has a restaurant that makes like specializes in making rice. We'd like to do a story on like different ways to make rice." And we were like, "Okay." But you know, sometimes that's what the writers want to write about, and like we would never know unless we asked and put like those feelers out there. So it's all with timing and how you know your story. If it's Black History Month and you're the first Black owned business to create X, Y, and Z, like, you know, you've already done the research. That's something that you should definitely pitch to. You got to learn how to pitch yourself too, so that we're
Yeah.
good. We can't do the job ourselves. Like you got to sell us on you. So that's probably the advice I give for anybody looking for a publicist.
I'm so glad that you said that even though you hire somebody in your work, you still have to do some work yourself. Even
Yeah.
if there's let's say somebody purchases your film and they're going to put it out there for you, whether big screen or on global
Yeah.
streaming platforms, you still have to market it too. You see
Yeah.
Will Smith doing it, and he has a gazillion dollars in notoriety, but he's still
Yes.
self-promoting himself. So
Yeah.
we have to remember to do that. And I don't think there's such thing as too much.
No, yeah, there isn't. Like you're investing in yourself and investing in your dreams, and you always want to make sure. I mean, you want to make sure that you have the right people on your team. Like you were talking
Yes,
about it earlier, and how your sons support your career as well. So it's always important to have people that you trust on your side. I strongly
definitely.
believe in that.
Okay, so we only have a few more minutes left. I don't want to take up all your time, but I feel like I'm talking to my little sister. So
Oh,
let's ask you, how did okay, so let me slow down because I'm super excited. When you got the call from Paramount Plus
yeah.
that they were hiring you to become their communications manager, tell me about that process. How did that happen? And how were you
Oh
feeling?
man. It's like it for me, honestly, it was very euphoric to just even hear that like I was wanted. Because for a while, like since the pandemic started, I was always looking. I mean, anybody who wants to advance their career, they're always gonna look for the next thing. I was looking to transition out of cable and transition to like streaming services, because honestly, I'm a cord cutter myself. I'm a millennial. I literally like sit in bed and watch TV on my laptop or on my phone. So I always was just like, I need to go somewhere where I feel that is just me. And I just feel like I was telling I talked to my sisters about this. I said, sometimes I just felt like I was throwing stuff against the wall. Like I was getting all these interviews at like, I'm not going to name drop them, but like some of the biggest like streaming services that I'm pretty sure most people have. And they were looking for me. Like they found me on LinkedIn. I sometimes didn't even apply for the jobs, but you know, eventually like it just didn't work out. Like either there was another candidate or they got rid of the position. And I just felt like I was just losing my mind. Like, I just need a win. Like, I just feel like I haven't had a good, I mean, like my campaigns definitely were rewarding, but I just needed something that made my soul feel good and made me feel like I was doing something right in my career. And that's how it felt when I got the call from Paramount, because they called me and I interviewed with them. But I interviewed with the team originally in LA. Um, I and just so happened that there was also the same position, same title, in New York as well. So they wanted me to interview for the position in New York too. And I did, and they were just like, well, both teams like you. So what do you want to do? And I was like, wait, I have like now I have an options. Like, and
Yeah.
it just felt like an abundance of joy, because I don't know. I just, I just feel like sometimes patience is a virtue, and I was starting to feel uncomfortable. And I always say, like, when I start to feel uncomfortable in my situations, that God is making room for me to grow. And that's really what he put in my lap. And I was just overjoyed.
I love that story. And when it's your turn, there will be more yeses, but all of us have to have no's, because no's
Oh man.
tell us to keep going. And we know if we keep going, we got to do something different, right? Since that
Yes.
didn't work, we got to change something else. And I like how you made the decision, because for you, being a millennial, you know so much about that generation. You know how they think, what they like, because that's like I know what, well, I won't say I know what people like in my age group, because I think I'm different. Most people my age, they like partying still. They like whatever. And I like business. I love working. I love God. I love hanging out with my sons. I don't like, and this is what I do, but it's not who I am. Right. So it takes all of us to come to that and to know that. And it's not good or bad. It's just who I am. And I love that. So let's see. These questions are coming in here. Okay, let me ask you this, Yahnnica. Will you come back? Will you come back and share with us again?
Oh yeah. This is so comfortable. It's such an easy, organic conversation, and I feel so comfortable with your platform and with your audience. So I would definitely come back.
Yeah, you know what? Ever since I've been doing the show, and that's how I know that I'm called to this, because whether it's Denzel Washington, Sharon Stone, Tom Hanks, or I am name dropping because I'm trying to make a point, and I have interviewed these people. That's what they say. They say it's like I'm in your living room or you're in mine, and we're talking, just having a conversation. And that's why I say I don't do interviews. You remember me telling you that? We're gonna have a conversation.
You're like, this is just gonna be a conversation. So and as a publicist, I'm just like, okay, where do I need to get talking points, or how should I prepare? But then I was like, you know what? I feel confident in this conversation. So let's just talk. So
yes. So I'm just excited about what you're going to do next, and for this opportunity as well. I'm not pushing you out the door just now. I want you to enjoy. I want you to be a sponge and soak up everything that you have. And I know one day we'll have conversations. Somebody say, you know what? I remember when Yahnnica was on Loretta's show, and she inspired me. I wanted to give up, but she inspired me to keep going and following my dream. Because when you're the first one to do it in your family, like there's not another talk show host in my family. I couldn't call Oprah, right?
Right. You got to
and get instructions. Was there someone in your life that you could call at first?
Everybody in my family was really like, lawyers or teachers, and my mom always wanted me to go into healthcare, and seeing a lot of my friends like go into pharmacy school. I was like, I don't want to be in school for that long. School's cool, but I don't want to be in school for X amount of years. And I just like, it's crazy because like I would look up like salaries on Google, like how much does a publicist make? And I was like, I don't know if I can make that. But like I've discovered, like when you really love what you do, that bank account will be fulfilled. So
yes,
you will be satisfied, and
the money will come.
Grow.
The money will come. So follow your passion, follow your your heart, and
What
the
you're
money
good
will come.
at.
Trust me, it will come. So I
Yes.
forgot to ask you, which one did you take, LA or New York?
Oh, I took New York.
Of course you did.
Yes, I took New York.
Because
So,
you can always
you
go back
can,
to LA. New York is
I'll make my
happening now.
way. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to LA soon. But New York, I feel like if you can survive in New York, you can survive anywhere, like they say. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, this has been a great conversation for me too. I'm just
Yeah.
so thrilled to meet you, and I'm inspired by your story. And I know
Thank
that
you.
everyone who's watching, whether they want to be a publicist or like LaTanya King, her being the first Black kosher certified cake business owner, or a husband on here who's the publicist for his wife, who's an author or a
Oh,
spoken
I love
word, or
that.
somebody who just
Yes.
got a new brand spanking new degree in communications and cinematography. You
Wow.
have shared a lot with us, and we are more wise because of it. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, it's like a pleasure to sit and talk to people like about stuff like this, because I feel like everybody has a passion and a dream and something that they're good at.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to figure out what it is. I kind of got lucky to figure it out early, but that doesn't mean it's ever too late for somebody else to
Yes.
learn to
I
pivot.
love that you said that. So true.
Yes,
Because I
that's
don't think it's too
my
early or too late.
right. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people all the time. And like my word in this chapter of my life has been pivot. So whether that's pivoting out of a relationship or pivoting, into a different career field, right now is the time to do it, because you only got one life. So just do
That's for
something that
sure.
you're happy with.
Right. And pivot is my word too, because I was like, I'm on TV. Everybody, so you need to go on social media, Loretta. Take your show on Facebook Live. This is before they were even letting everybody do it. And you
Yeah.
need to be. I'm like, no, honey, I'm TV. I'm not doing that. Right? TV is king. And
Yes.
then here comes the pandemic and COVID, and everything shut down. So the last 2 years, I've been doing my interviews online, and let me tell you, it has been so gratifying and so
Yeah.
rewarding. It has expanded my territory. I have people from all over the world literally that send me emails and
I
messages
love
that they
that.
watch and they love it. And even with
Yeah.
MMN, we're in 18 countries already, just launched
I
in
love
July.
it. Ooh,
So
yay.
please, like, yeah, she said, it's never too late. I don't care if you're 80, 90, or 100. It's
Yeah.
never too late to start that business, write that book, write the play, or travel, or go in the job market, or get out the job
Right.
market. So Yahnnica, you are a shining
Yeah.
star.
Thank
And I
you.
know, honey, we're gonna need sunglasses the next time you come on, because your future is totally bright, as Oprah would say. Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. Oh,
yes.
you guys are like making me feel so good. I'm just like, wait, I never get this type of like shine, and I'm just kind of. I'm usually on the background giving people their own shine, so you guys are making me feel so comfortable and welcome and loved, and that's what I'm trying to project as well. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm just so happy that I reached out and that you were open to all of this. I only know there's a lot of synergies, and we'll work together at some
Oh
point, and
yeah,
definitely we'll have you back on the show and probably get you to Memphis for a master class.
I
So
would love that.
yes, the sky is
Overdue.
not even the limit. There's a beyond the sky. So thank
Yes.
you for your time. Thank all of you all for watching, no matter where you're watching, whether it's live or in the afterplay or on the network, on the app. Thank you all so much. We cannot do this without you. Thank Yahnnica. You all look for her name and credits and everything. Follow her. I look forward to her doing her cooking show on TikTok and Instagram, and probably elsewhere. But
Yeah,
until
we'll see
then,
where
think
this life
positive,
goes.
dream big dreams, help someone do the same, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you.